Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today it is the 4th episode on the server, and today I would like to automate biofuel. And of course, biofuel is a long process. That is actually why we made this Netherrack farm, so we could easily get cinder flower. I believe first off, before I even start building the farm, I want to just map out how I'm going to build the building, which it's going to be in similar style to this, just maybe not with this corner to it. I believe this is actually going to be the size of the factory, which I'd say is actually a decent size. So I'm going to need a whole bunch of mechanical harvesters, which isn't super hard to make. I believe 50 mechanical harvesters is probably more than what we're going to need, but honestly, it's better to have extras. Next, I'm probably going to flatten out this area a little bit. Just like that, we have our nice flat area for us to build up these farms. Now, I never actually described what this farm is, but this is just a little wheat farm, so then we can use the seeds to crush them into seed oil, and use the wheat to create the biomass, which is used to create the biofuel. Now that all the seeds are planted, we now need to go actually in there and figure out a way to offload all of the seeds. Of course, we do have a portable storage interface right here, so that shouldn't be too hard to link up into there. The way I'm actually going to be offloading things is going to be pretty simple. I just need to place a chute here with a dirt block there with a belt running along, and that should connect into a drawer controller. Now we do actually need to figure out how we're gonna get cinder flower, because we gotta bring the netherrack from this farm into here and put it into some millstones. I believe the easiest way for me to do that is just to drag some drawer trim and just drag it right over here. That way I can just place a drawer controller here and hopefully maybe have 3 of them going all across like that, and we'll have some millstones here. I do want to limit the amount coming out, which is why I'm going to use these brass funnels. Of course, all that's being stored in here is netherrack, so I won't need any filters here. Next, I do actually need to figure out how I'm going to be powering these millstones, which hopefully shouldn't be very hard. Now, I believe instead of creating an entirely different steam engine, I'm probably just going to hook it up to this wire, which is from my iron farm, which runs off of a level 9 steam engine. I believe right here we're going to put in a nice little rotation speed controller. That way we can get this running at the speed we'd like it to, which is at full speed. One thing that did just occur to me is that I can't use millstones to create cinder flower. I actually need to use crushing wheels, so we should probably take this apart and replace everything with the crushing wheels. Now that we have the correct processing, we should now be creating cinder flower. Now, to actually make the seed oil, I'm gonna go ahead and place a tank right here and probably move these 2 basins to be right up against this tank, just to make it a little bit more condensed. All that's left to do is set up our item drains and put an intake on these 2 basins, as well as pump the fluid out from underneath the basins. Not to mention, we also have to hook up these 2 drawer controllers into our little system. Now, the next thing I need to do is just put some mechanical presses on the top of the basins to actually crush the seeds into the seed oil. Get these placed up here. Let me now just bring some chain drives down here, just so that we can get this quickly powered. And now we're making seed oil. Now that we are automating seed oil, we should now be able to make some biomass. Now, to make biomass, we do actually need to heat the basins to create this biomass, which means we do have to figure out how we're going to pump lava into these blaze burners. I do believe this is the setup I'm going to go for, and I'm going to pump lava in from the bottom. Next, we do actually have to figure out how we're getting the items into the funnels, which I believe I'm just going to use a mechanical arm and the depot. I believe to actually pump the lava into the blaze burners, we're just going to come underground and do it through here. And then I'll catch you guys when I figure it out. Now, this wasn't actually as difficult as I thought it would be, because the pipe is actually relatively close to the other pipe that is feeding the blaze burners in the other factory. Now that we have all of that done, I believe it's time to put a cogwheel and see if this works. And perfect, it seems like it's working. Now the next thing I actually need to do is get this sugarcane over to our factory to make the sugar. Getting the sugarcane over here was actually relatively simple, as all I needed to do was run some drawer trim over to our little factory here. That way we can put it into this little sugar process I built here. Now that we have all the necessary components to create biofuel, we now just need to figure out where we will create the biofuel. The way I'm getting all the materials over to where we need them is actually just hooking up our two storage systems from the Netherrack factory and this factory that we are currently building, and hooking everything up into one storage system. That way I can easily get sugar and everything I need out of these funnels here. And of course I will be using a mechanical arm to put everything into a basin to stir it into biofuel. Hopefully with this final cogwheel we should now be creating biofuel. Perfect. Now that all of the final processes are finished, I believe it's time for us to build up the building. All that's left to do now is finish up the roof. Well, the building is now officially complete and we are generating biofuel. Now, it may not be the most efficient, but this biofuel will be used to superheat blaze burners, which will be useful when it comes to creating steam engines. Anyways, guys, I really do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy and you want to see future episodes, leave a like and subscribe. Peace out.